qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Ah, mais c'est le président. Un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah, mais c'est le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieillard. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la limite pour devenir des esclavos. Les jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe.
Good day to the beautiful people of the Cameroon. Good day to the beautiful people of British Southern Cameroon and the beautiful people of La République du Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Ladies and gentlemen, today, this party political broadcast is about the problem of British Southern Cameroon, what some call Anglophone problem. Ladies and gentlemen, for more than 30 years, lawyers, professors, chukhead, people who they buy and sell them, they have been confused. They don't know what is the Anglophone problem. There is only one person in the whole Cameroons who know what's the Anglophone problem, and that's Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singer. Ladies and gentlemen, you're free after this to put it on my comment section that I'm lying when I finish with this. I know what I'm saying. A lot of people come and say, by the end of this program, you know why I say there's only one person in the entire Cameroon who know the Anglophone problem. At the end of the video, you buy with me. I know most people now watching this video say, this Maître Mola Alex the Singer. Now over Sabi, check say over no. At the end of the video, tell me if I'm over no or if I'm telling you the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The reason I'm saying this is because we see a lot of people. They say, if you vote me, I become president, I will solve the Anglophone problem. They don't even know the Anglophone problem. They are giving wrong solution, wrong panacea. And I will tell you today why none of them, they don't even know the Anglophone problem. If you're giving wrong solution to the problem, it means you don't know. I will start first. I like to do comparative studies. I will start with France. There's this word that in the Cameroons, people always like to say, Cameroon is one and indivisible. Cameroon is one and indivisible. They don't even know the meaning of one and indivisible. Ladies and gentlemen, one and indivisible is in the Constitution of France. The country that is running La République du Cameroon that have annexed British Cameroon. One and indivisible is simple. I'll compare one and indivisible with a form of state and political issue. Then you will see why I say a lot of people, they don't know what is really the Anglophone problem. They just know we are being marginalized. Then they are giving the wrong solution. It's just as if a doctor will diagnose you with headache. Then they give you medication that they give to mental health people. So you get the point. That's why I'm talking today. I want to clarify this point. In France, they say La France est one and indivisible. What does it mean? It is a core tenet of French Republic. It means France is a unified entity, not a collection of separate entities or regions. And sovereignty in France resides in the nation as a whole, not in any particular part or group. That's what they mean. France is one and indivisible. That's what they mean. So it's very important. Nonetheless, the French Constitution, specifically in the preamble to the Constitution of the Fifth Republic in France, makes reference that the people have got a right to self-determination. Yes, they say France is one and indivisible. But they say the people have got the right to self-determination. What is the right to self-determination? It means people have the right to freely determine their political status and pursue its economic, social, and cultural development. That's the right of self-determination. So in France, what they are saying that it is one and indivisible means sovereignty belongs to all of them in France. That's what it means. So when you see these pseudo ministers, scholars in the Cameroon and indivisible, they don't even know what it means. But on the other hand, politically, they give you your right to self-determination. South Africa came behind us. When I mean behind us, we have had so-called democracy, so-called country for more than 60 years. South Africa came, is it 1994, if I'm not mistaken. There's a political party in South Africa which is called the Referendum Party. The Referendum Party, they created that party because they are fighting for self-determination. They want Western Cape in South Africa to be independent. South Africa Constitution says they are one and indivisible. That's sovereignty. All of them, they are together. But it still says in chapter 14, article, is it 235 in the South African Constitution, that they have a right to self-determination. So because they say Cameroon or France or South Africa is one and indivisible, it simply means sovereignty belongs to everybody. It doesn't mean you cannot leave the country. That's what most people, they don't know. One and indivisible means sovereignty belongs to everyone. You have Scotland in the United Kingdom. You have England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. 4 countries. They say sovereignty belongs to all the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. That's one and indivisible. Sovereignty belongs to all of them. But there are 4 countries. But if Scotland wants to go tomorrow to exercise the right of self-determination, you cannot stop it. So we are confused in Cameroon. We just like to cut and paste. Cut and paste without knowing the meaning. We don't know that. Okay, Article 65 of the Constitution of La République du Cameroun gives us the same right, or the right to self-determination. That's why myself, Maître Mola Alex Ndiveli Singh, I created a political party in order to fight for the right of self-determination for the people of British Southern Cameroon, which have two regions, Northwest and Southwest. It's a constitutional right. So we are confusing one and indivisible, which means sovereignty belongs to all the entity. So Scotland and England came together 300 years ago. They formed the same political entity. They dissolved their parliament, created one parliament. They have one political entity. Sovereignty belongs to Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, and Wales. That's one and indivisible. Sovereignty belongs to all of them, not in England alone. That's what one and indivisible means. It means all of them, but it doesn't mean Scotland, which have created Scottish National Party, that they are fighting for an independent Scotland. It doesn't mean they cannot exercise their right to self-determination. Ladies and gentlemen, France's constitution says France is one and indivisible, but they have so many political parties legally registered that they want to separate from France. I'll give you just two. Corsica National is an electoral group in the Corsica Assembly. They have a political party. So it doesn't mean when they say a country is one and indivisible, you cannot create a political party to exercise your right of self-determination. Another political party in France is Basque Political Party, the largest Basque national party in France. It gathered about 10% of the vote in France. They won independence. Basque Political Party. They have a lot of Basque groups, separatists. Basque, it also extends right to Spain. They also have Basque too in Spain. So they want independence. So we should stop using malapropism. You see these people in the Cameroon chop people their money. They use words that they don't know what it means. Ladies and gentlemen, I will go back to the most important part of this party political broadcast for today. When I say the people of the Cameroons, especially political actors, especially CPDM chop people their money, and other sympathizers who are supporting the criminal syndicate called CPDM. Listen, I've seen people, I'll call some names, I'm not afraid. My professor Moise Kamto, Barrister Akeremuna, Issa Chiruma, SDF party from time immemorial under John Fundi. They were fighting that the Anglophone problem is about federalism. Ladies and gentlemen, with all due respect, these are people, Professor Moise Kamto is my professor. Ni John Fundi was a successful businessman. Akeremuna is a very successful lawyer. But these are people who don't know politics. I'll tell you why. Hold your breath. Why do I say so? They say, all of them, the people that have called their name, they can solve the Anglophone problem through a form of a state. Ladies and gentlemen, a form of a state are fundamental principles like unitary state, federalism, confederation. Ladies and gentlemen, the problem of British Southern Cameroon is not the form of a state. It's annexation. Scotland and England, they used to have a centralized form of a country. Centralized like the Cameroons today. They had different parliament. They dissolved the parliament. They created one parliament. Centralized government like Cameroon, that's how it was. But the difference is, England with a population of more than 50-something million never annexed Scotland. which is about approximately 5 million population. 300 years ago, Scotland have remained Scotland. England have remained England. They are all in the United Kingdom. They form one political entity. British Southern Cameroon, they exercise their right to self-determination by joining another country. We expected that geographical location in Africa called the Cameroons to have two countries there with separate names. Whether we call it Federal Republic of Cameroon, that's a form of a state. Then we have West Cameroon. We have East Cameroon, that's two countries. Different political authority before, different international boundaries, territories, and different population. So we had no problem. We could have still remained under a centralized form of a government and still remain West Cameroon, East Cameroon. There will be no Anglophone problem. Then we'll be talking about, oh, we want a form of a state that's different. But when you annex another country, you remove one star, you remove the name of that country, then you still bear your name, La République du Cameroun. That's annexation. That's the Anglophone problem. Anglophone problem is not the form of a state. Restore our country back. Whether you give our name back, La République du Cameroun, British Southern Cameroon, West Cameroon, East Cameroon. Whether we stay under a dictator, but we still remain Scotland, England, it means we don't have a Scottish problem or English problem. We have an Anglophone problem because we have been annexed. I'm giving a conjecture. Let me say we still want to remain under Mr. Biya, under centralized state. Put our country back, put our name back. Whether it's a federal form of government, does not matter. A form of a state is different. When I say, my professor Maurice Kamto, they don't know the Anglophone problem because they say the solution is a form of a state. If you give a form of a state, they will still call it La République du Cameroun. Where is the other country? Where is it? Akaremuna said the solution is federalism. Anglophone problem is not the form of a state. Mr. Akaremuna. Mr. Chiruma, Anglophone problem is not a form of a state. All my professors in Guaquele and wherever all over the world, all political actors take this message. Anglophone problem is not the form of a state. Anglophone problem is that La République du Cameroun have taken another territory, they have added it in their own. That territory that they have added it in their own, they are calling it La République du Cameroun. If England would have taken Scotland and added it in their territory and called it England, that's annexation. That's the problem we are facing. That's the Anglophone problem. England taking Scotland, wipe their name and call it England. So La République du Cameroun, a different country, have taken British Cameroon, Southern Cameroon, and wiped their name, and they call it La République du Cameroun. That's an Anglophone problem. So when I see my professor Maurice Kamto, when I see Bello Buba, Chiruma, and is it who? The SDF. When I see you come and say Anglophone problem is the form of a state, that's why I say, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one person who knows the Anglophone problem, and that's Maître Mola Alex Ndive-Lisingé, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. There's a difference between Anglophone problem and a form of a state. Even if we were not part of La République, if we were not part of it because they have annexed us, even if we were not there, the people of La République du Cameroun would have said, oh, advocate that they want a form of a state. Form of a state have got nothing to do with Anglophone problem. Just give back our name. If you like, put the 2-star back. Let's know This one is West Cameroon. This is East Cameroon. That's what you need to do. Once as you do that one, that, oh, there are two countries that are living together, you have solved the Anglophone problem. Then we can start talk about the form of a state now. Whether one unitary form of state, federalism and confederation. So ladies and gentlemen, take this message to all those educated people who are just educated, they don't think, like Maître Mola Alex Ndivelisinger. We need intellectuals to think. An intellectual think. An educated person doesn't think. So we need more intellectuals, ladies and gentlemen. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this is very helpful because sometimes we need to be repeating these things. That one and indivisible doesn't mean you don't have your right, your constitutional right, Article 65 right that says you have a right to self-determination. One and indivisible simply means it's a unified entity. A unified entity can be so many countries. Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. All of them are different countries, but they are a unified entity. One and indivisible means sovereignty belongs to all the 4 countries in the United Kingdom. But it doesn't stop you to follow your Article 65 right in Cameroon to exercise your right to self-determination, to freely determine your political status, to pursue your economic, social, and cultural development, the right to self-determination. So ladies and gentlemen, once more, this has been Maître Mola Alex Ndivelisinger, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Please press the subscribe button, press the like button, and I hope and I wish you a wonderful and beautiful beginning of the week. Ciao.
Allez prendre la route de l'aventure. Amen, c'est le président. Un pauvre qui vote ou celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Amen, c'est le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclavos. Les jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Sonia Touko. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Des vieux. Docteur, tout Joseph, professeur à Los Angeles. Comment pouvez-vous nommer un individu à un poste pendant 25 ans? 20 ans, directeur de tam. 30 ans. Vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos familles. Vous partagez le pouvoir avec vos amis. Vous partagez le pays avec vos familles. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Qui les avait nommés d'abord dans ce poste-là? C'est toi qui les avais nommés, papa. Tu as oublié, tu as seulement oublié. C'est toi qui les avais nommés, oh, tu as oublié. C'est les mêmes qui sont toujours ministres. Ils vont au quartier pour quelque temps et ils reviennent après. Ils font le tour des ministères. Aujourd'hui, ministre de la communication, demain, ministre du sport.